The first gelato I ever had in Italy was terrible. And I don't say that lightly, coming from someone who has a powerful sweet tooth and always needs some sort of sugar after a meal to make it complete. This gelato was truly horrendous. Taken from a little street cart in a small piazza in Venice, I was immediately pulled in by the bright colors, mistake number one, and the enduring smell of sweet strawberry, chocolate, and pistachio, all identified by the decorative little pieces placed perfectly on top of each gelato tub, mistake number two, presented in little mini ski mountains piled high, mistake number three. Yeah, I thought I had hit the jackpot and that this was such a hidden gem, no people were around it at all, not even Italians. Do I even need to say it? Boy, was I wrong. I took one bite and immediately scrunched up my nose. This couldn't possibly be what everyone was talking about, right? The sugar crystals lingered on my tongue, followed by the aftertaste of something artificial. Someone had once told me that there is no bad gelato in Italy, but standing there in that empty Venetian piazza on a warm October day in 2018, I was living proof that that statement couldn't be further from the truth. This was no better than what I could find in the freezer section of my local grocery store. Worse, actually. I took one more bite to confirm my taste buds weren't lying to me and then promptly threw it away. Don't worry, I've had plenty of incredible gelato since then, and I've made it somewhat a mission of mine to spread the news of exactly how to find it, because, after all, not all gelato is created equal. I find myself grateful for that fateful day, though, because my experience with the yucky stuff is what led me to understand how to find the good stuff, which is all any of us want anyway. I don't know why I always felt such a strong pull to go to Italy. I'm only 3% Italian after all, so I can hardly use that as an excuse to explain why. It was always a place I quickly responded with whenever someone asked where I would travel to in the world if I could. Finally, after years of waiting and one night of shocking clarity, I bit the bullet and did the scariest thing I could think of. I booked a trip to go to Italy. Alone. I walked the streets where the Renaissance was born, stood in the middle of ancient ruins, strolled along the canals of a city floating on the water, drank wine in a sloping Tuscan vineyard, and ate the most incredible food I'd ever had in my life. I gained a ton of confidence in my ability to handle unexpected hurdles and realized I was my own best company. And in true rom-com fashion, I met a boy. I know, it sounds super cheesy, but stick with me. To reassure you, this isn't another American girl meets Italian guy, falls in love, and moves to Italy story. Well, I mean, it is, since, spoiler alert, that's what ended up happening. But this story, this book, is so much more than that. This book is a love story, but maybe not the kind of love story you're expecting. It's a love story about the boy, yes, but it's also a story of falling in love with a culture, a place, a people, and most of all, ourselves. Failures and fear and beautiful human flaws and all. I fell into content creation completely by accident because I started posting videos on social media for fun when I first moved to Italy. A community of over 1.5 million people later, it had grown into something bigger than I ever could have imagined. My goal quickly became to share the beauty of cultural differences in travel, all the while reminding you that you are strong and deserving of all the good things in life. Half the time, I have no idea what I'm doing. Who does, to be honest? But I promised myself very early on to always keep it real across my channels, so that's what I did. This book is an extension of that. In the chapters that follow, you'll see the good, the bad, the beautiful, the somewhat cringy, my many, many mishaps, and the lessons subsequently learned from them. The scary things we may all have to overcome in life at some point, and ultimately, why it's imperative we do exactly that. Maybe you fear taking the first step in booking that plane ticket. Maybe you're curious as to what living abroad can be like, or are intrigued to travel but have no idea where to begin. Maybe your gut is aching to make a leap, but fear and doubt are anchoring you to the ground. Maybe the reason you picked up this book has nothing to do with the above. Maybe you feel stuck in life. Maybe you feel lost. I've been there, my friend, and I understand completely. Before we continue, a serious disclaimer. This book is full of culture shocks and lessons that I learned while traveling and living abroad. My experiences are those of a cishet white woman who grew up in the middle class of a Western country. There are many topics under travel and living abroad that I am not qualified to speak on because I have no firsthand knowledge of any lived experience other than my own.